Hello and welcome back. I am here with Tom Aaron, who I've been pumping. Tom, I've been pumping you up because I've been looking forward to this session. So, as I mentioned, is just amazing about this moment is so many things that Tom and I have dreamed of building with the team for so long are now around the corner. And so what we're doing in this session, and I will quickly let Tom have the floor, is especially to new folks, people who are like, I've never been on a Mighty network. We're going to show you some stuff at a conceptual level, as well as at a concrete level of what we mean when we say people magic, when we're talking about making connections between members. And for all the existing hosts who we invited to this chat, your very detailed questions are amazing to have in Mighty community. So we are really focused right now on making sure we give this overview of where things are going. And for those who are like, I don't have context for where things are, just you wait, because what we're going to show you with Jane's session, what we're going to have in the 14-day challenge will give you a really good sense of what is there today. And now I hand it over to Tom for where things are going. So with that, I'll leave the screen and we'll see you once Tom is through showing some amazing stuff.
Right. I'm going to share my screen. I am super excited to be here today. I like to talk about the product and about the product roadmap and kind of where we're going. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, from the outset, I want to tell you, I'm going to show off a few of the features that the team is hard working on. These are not everything we're building. For those of you, and many of you are new to our product, to a Mighty network, and what capabilities it gives you. Stick with me. I think you'll be able to get a sense for what these features are, even if you've never seen a Mighty network before. I think you're going to see that we really believe that the best way to future-proof your business is to focus in on relationship building versus pure kind of content and audience building. Content matters. It still remains important, but it will matter less and less over time. AI is quickly eclipsing the human's ability to create content, and the amount of content just keeps growing and growing. We believe that success really is about leveraging content that you're creating into meaningful relationships between people. Pure audience building needs to evolve to true community building. And you'll see that our focus is on people and how we use AI to make magical human connections. And so that's what's important. So I'm going to take you through some features. I'm just going to hit on a few things that help build that story and build those relationships. So first of all, custom fields. So basically, to make the kinds of relationships, the rich and interesting kind of connections between people that we want to be able to make, we need to know a little bit about the people who are showing up. And so let me show you a little quick prototype of what that would look like. Just so you're kind of familiar, this is a Mighty network. It's a fake Mighty network. It's my fake but awesome network of artists and creators that run art businesses. I use this for demo purposes. So just keep that context in mind, because that really matters. A Mighty network is tuned and shaped by the kind of big purpose that you have. And so is mine. Okay, so if I'm looking here at our Face Explorer or our People Explorer, I see all of the different people in my network, film photographers near me, top members in Denver. Let's click on one and see Kiara here and check out a profile. And as you can see, there's, she has a little mini bio. There's some things I can see, some similarities with her that AI can kind of show me the things that are similar between us. There's another people graph here, the people that are kind of in Kiara's orbit. But as I scroll down, and I see some badges, awesome. As I scroll down, I see a bunch of fields here. These are custom fields. And you can see that these are tuned to the place that we're in, right? This is an art network. And so you see the school that I went to, my favorite art subject, the years that I've been practicing, my artistic interests, also other things I love. All of these custom fields are what we call, all of the ones up here above artist statement are single and multi-select drop-down types of custom fields. You can create the environment and create all the options here that people can choose from. If I were to go up here, there's an empty one. I can click. I can see all these options. I can pick the options that best represent my collaboration interest. And then I can add them and they show up there on my profile. It's as simple as that if I were adding these to my own profile. These drop-down type custom fields are out now. And today we'll be releasing this text version where you can actually put in long form text. You can let them write paragraphs about themselves. Really awesome and coming now. And you can see that this kind of stuff helps kind of shape the context of the network. You go in, you see people and the things that are kind of the identifiers, the facets that you can create are tuned to your purpose here. Also, you can see how this lets you really understand the people who are in the network and get to know them a lot better. Of course, we're going to do more than just make you look at everyone's profile. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. Let's talk about automation. So automation is basically things happening on your behalf. You set up workflows for things to happen, and those things can happen automatically without you having to do anything. We have a full system of automation, and we are adding to this daily. You can see here, I have a list of automations that I can filter and sort those. I can also create a new workflow. And creating a workflow consists of two major concepts. One are triggers. These are things that happen in the network, and they cause an action. So I'm going to show you the whole list, but you can see things like I complete a lesson as a member. I create complete a section or a quiz, or I join the network, or I leave the network, or I join a space. A space is a little subset of the network, right? A little group inside of the network, or a place inside of the network. So if I join a space, this trigger will fire. And then what happens is an action fires. So actions are add a badge, or remove a badge, or add a tag. All of these things are things that can happen automatically on my behalf. So if somebody joins a space, I can automatically give them a badge. Maybe it's a special space that the people in that space that are invited into that space, they get that badge. And all I have to do is send them an invite, they join, and the badge already is added automatically. So I don't have to do anything. This is the foundation of magical things happening in a network. And we are just getting started with automation. I'm going to talk about how AI layers into this. But before I do, let me talk about the kinds of triggers we're talking about. Look at all of the things that you can do. And we're still adding, like on a regular basis, we're adding 3 more or 4 more very soon. Attended a live stream, or if you as a host receive a private message, you can take an action automatically, maybe send them a message back, or other things. Or if a member is inactive for a few days, you can see all the power that is just in the triggers, the things that happen in a network. Let's talk about the actions. So there's less, but they're powerful. You can invite and remove and from different spaces or the network. You can close RSVPs or open RSVPs based on different triggers. You could add a badge, remove a badge, add tags. This stuff gives you a lot of power to kind of segment and organize people into different groupings. That's really powerful for you. It's also powerful for the system to understand how people are tagged and how they're being arranged. We're adding another big one really soon. This is really fun. The action will be to display a modal on screen. So based on any of those triggers, I can then show a modal on somebody's screen with a message and an optional video or even confetti or both. So imagine that just based on that trigger, a modal could just pop up and show me a video. So you could show members videos when they join a space or when they join the network, and you could add some confetti to that. A lot of fun, super cool, and coming soon. Let's talk about gamification. So here's the thing. Gamification makes, the word works. We understand why. It's using game principles to create, in communities to kind of encourage and create engagement, to drive engagement, to help people create habits around the product that you're offering. It's a little, in a way, it kind of cheapens that experience. I like to think about this as people magic gamification. This is a different take on gamification. It's not pure, just a game. Out now, we've got, sorry. Out now, we've got this. We've got streaks launched yesterday. Really cool. It's as simple as this. Like, you go and you see the streaks every day. They add up. There's little milestones here. On 60 days, I get an emoji, diamond emoji. It's going to be by my name. You can only get it if you have a daily streak. Really fun. But that's just the beginning. Streaks is kind of a known thing, right? We know about that. It's not extremely people magic forward. So when we set out to kind of do gamification, we really wanted to do more than something like this. This is fine. We love it. I mean, I'm all into streaks. But how could we do something even more people forward? So let's go down and click on this on Zoe here. Now you'll see this little profile preview here. It shows a little bit about Zoe. This will be coming out really soon with gamification. And you can see here that Zoe has some badges and some recognitions here, a little bit about her. Well, I liked this article I was reading, right? And so I really want to recognize Zoe for this awesome article. So I can click recognize, and you see I have some points. You'll receive points as a member for taking actions, for doing things, for showing up, maybe just for fulfilling your streak, for coming back every day. You can receive some points. The exciting thing is that the point of the points, the reason you receive those points of that currency, is to recognize others in the community. So I think that Zoe's post is awesome. And I think it was inspiring. And so I'm going to use 3 of my points. Oops, that changed to 5. Well, that's a sneaky trick. That's not supposed to happen. I'm going to use my points to recognize Zoe. And so it's as simple as this. I click on the thing that I want to recognize her for, and I recognize her, and she receives that recognition. I get a little fun confetti. It's fun for everyone. It's exciting. And I feel good for kind of doing something for my community and recognizing the people who are contributing. And she feels great for doing something that mattered to somebody else in the community. Great way to build a sense of community. But how do we know how do we kind of recognize all of this? How do we see this? Well, leaderboards are the way. You can change the names of any of the things that I've mentioned, by the way. as we go forward, you're going to have a lot of customization about naming and the way that words are used, because we feel that that's a way that you brand your network and make it your own. So leaderboards is the concept. You're going to be able to change that to anything you'd like. But let's go to a leaderboard. So here, the leaderboards are based on the recognitions you receive. So in this case, welcoming, it looks like Caleb is number 1 and Gabby number 2. We have a little people explorer at the top, so you can kind of put the people at the, elevates people, kind of fun. And then the list below. So this is how you'll be able to recognize who are the leaders, who are the people who are being recognized for the different values, the different things that you want people to be recognized for. And by the way, all of these things, welcoming, real, inspiring, are all things you can tune. We're going to give you a whole pile of different badges. You can create your own badges and upload them. And you can name them what you'd like. So again, it's just how you make this your own. Okay, so let's go to Mighty Funnels. Now this is I'm going to take you on an intellectual journey here if you don't know a lot about a Mighty Network. But if you don't, let me give you one quick primer. Mighty Network is kind of, you can think of it like the container of a bunch of spaces. Each space is its own little experience. It can have chat, it can have a feed, it can have all kinds of things. Each one of those spaces, they can do lots of things. But those spaces up until recently have been locked up inside of that Mighty Network. You had to join the Mighty Network to get access to one of those spaces. We're going to bust that whole model open. We're going to make it so that you can just present a space to somebody out on the internet, and they could join that space independent of the Mighty Network. The space is still contained inside the Mighty Network, but they don't need to know about that until later. So let me show you how that works. Let me take you into a space here that is out in the world without the Mighty Network kind of shell around it. So all it is are 2 features in this space: a welcome page with rich content kind of ability and different features to show off what this space is all about. This is our page feature, and a courses feature, but this one's locked up. So it says the whole space here is about creating an art business. It's a course materials here. I would like to get access to them. I saw that welcome page. That seemed rad. I'm excited to get this, but it looks like to get access, I have to share a little bit about myself. So here's where I'm going to join, but I'm just joining this space. So I create an account, and then I see a little form with some questions. Now remember those custom fields, you're going to have the ability to put those into a form and ask questions of people joining into your network, and the reason you would, and make them even required. And the reason you'd want to do that, some of those things can go right onto somebody's profile. Others could be private questions that only you see, and they don't go on people's profile. You're going to have all of those options. I go on here, I see this awesome. So I'm a member. I'm like, or a prospect here. I want to join this course and get the information. I'm willing to share a little bit about myself, right? What's my primary artistic discipline? Blah. I fill the form out. And now, bam, that course is unlocked. So that feature is unlocked. I can see the course materials. I can take this course. But what's interesting is now I have this new, I see this kind of ability to move up in my value journey, right? I've committed just information so far. But now as a member, I'm like, you know what? This course is super great. And I can see that I can join this, I can buy this package of 3 courses with this one and 2 others for $19 a month. And I'm willing to do it because this is what I really have been looking for. So imagine I can just buy that right there, right? I haven't gone anywhere. I didn't have to go to a new location to move up in the value journey. I now have purchased those 3 courses. So now I have the 3 courses, and and so it goes. You can continue to have full experiences all in the same spot. So you can use a space as a funnel to move people up a value journey into, or down, I guess, the funnel, down through into full commitment to the highest levels in your Mighty Network. And you can see here now I'm in the full experience. I still have that course that I started on, but now I have all of these other courses and experiences. I'm in a full community. I'm starting to meet the members and get to know people and build those relationships. So this is real. This is coming. This is the kind of thing that we're highly focused on, because and it takes quite a bit of kind of foundational work that we're in the middle of working. This is being built right now, because we can see that again, it's about helping people kind of take a journey from where they are and helping them transition into who they want to be. And you often need to do that step by step, right? Joining a full Mighty Network with 30 courses and a bunch of chat and things happening and all these members you don't know might be intimidating for some people. And so it might be helpful, and not always, but might be helpful to start them out slow with just one thing at a time and then move them through that journey. And that's what this will give you the option to do. Give me 1 second here. Let me just do that. Okay. People, magic, AI. Kind of the underlying theme of my presentation here and my time is to talk about AI. And I think that this is a really important subject because it is unavoidable. There's no going back to there's not AI. There is AI. AI exists. I think what's important for us all is to decide, where do we want it to live in our lives, and what matters to us most, and how we as a company, what matters to us is leveraging the power of AI to create relationships with other people. Because in the end, that can't be replaced. You can still talk to AI, I guess. You could even be friends with it, maybe. But that's not the same as a real relationship with real people. And we believe relationships are the future, because they've always been a part of humanity. They're not going anywhere. But AI can help us substantially make that better and easier to find the people that you connect with. Okay, so Gina showed this off, I think, yesterday. I showed off again. People, we take all of this information that we know, the memberships you're in, the comments you've made, the posts you've made, the reactions, all this stuff, and all those custom fields and how you're showing up and what you're saying, all of that can be funneled in, and we can create groupings of people that are interesting, and that you as a member, if like you show up to a Mighty Network and the system does all this for you, it creates these groups of people. That's awesome. And I'm going to talk about what that would look like, what this would be. But it's all based on people. But AI has to create the actual magic underneath. It's the tool that takes all this information, processes it in a way that lets us create groupings of people and show them to you so that you can be introduced to interesting and cool people. And we're building the mechanisms to make this possible. You've already seen some of the building blocks, but now there's more to the story. So let's go back to this People Explorer that we have. So you can see that film photographers near me and top members in Denver, those are like kind of little groupings, little segments of members in my network. And those are cool. I mean, their location and and kind of one bit of information about them. The film photographers, and they're near me, or they're top members in Denver. Okay, those are interesting kind of two facets of personality. But humans are much more rich and interesting than just two bits of information. So how do we let AI take all that information and funnel it out and create groupings of people here that are much more interesting? So these are smaller groups of people, but look what it would mean if instead these little areas were filled with things like, these are film photographers who also studied painting like you and primarily market their work through Instagram. Well, that's a lot more information. It's a smaller group, but they're much more tuned and interesting for me. These are people that I would really like to get to know. They're doing almost exactly the same thing as me. We could all be friends. Maybe we'll have a meetup. Wow, what if they were also close to me? What if I could meet up with a couple of them? That's interesting stuff. You have a lot more in common with people like this than just one facet of your personality. So let's see how else we could leverage this, because I think that there's a lot more we can do here. What if we, I'm scrolling around in my Mighty Network, and I get a little alert, a little pop-up that shows me some interesting people, and this is Lila Brashwell. You have a lot in common. It can tell me what we have in common. It can tell me all the different things about us. We both live in and work in New York, and you're both interested in sculpture and installation and painting. We both have 100,000 Instagram followers. That's interesting stuff. And it doesn't matter what the kind of facets of are here, because they'll be tuned to each member. And I could just be introduced. What if I could just be introduced to Lila? Or I could pick from these other people who seem also interesting, and maybe there's a little way to explore and be introduced. That seems really fun. But also, like, we don't need to just do introductions individually. That might be a little weird sometimes. It's super awesome if I could just be put into a group automatically, or offered to join a group automatically. Okay, so how does this get done, right? There are 19 members of Mono Creator in Taos, New Mexico. Would you like to join a chat with them? Now, remember back to automation. Remember, we have AI. What if you could just ask AI, hey, if more than 10 people show up in any location, automatically create a group or a space with a chat and invite all those people into it. And then going further, everyone who joins in that location afterwards, invite them automatically to that space. What if you could just tell AI to do that? You didn't have to do it. You didn't have to watch where people were from. You could just do this automatically based on custom fields and location that people share, based on lots of different information. In fact, the future really is a Mighty Network with a co-host who helps you. Imagine I can just have conversations with a co-host. That this is an AI that can just do anything I need done in my Mighty Network. I could say, tell me about a space, and it could tell me all about spaces. I could say, can you create a space for me? Absolutely. Let me help you with that. Pick a template from the menu. It could open up a menu automatically, or just tell me the type of space you want. And I could tell it to do it for me. This is not only possible, this is coming. Imagine with all those automations, I could ask the AI to, to watch out for if the gold plan, if my conversion rate on the gold plan changes, notify me. If a member is inactive for more than 15 days, reach out with a message. You just tell it to do things, and it could automatically create automations and take care of things for you. This is the future that Mighty's building. It's the future that we see as absolutely necessary. And the reason is because you as a host, you don't want to spend your time kind of managing and administering the network. What you want to spend your time doing is building relationships yourself with the people in your network around the purpose and the kind of subject and the content that matters to you and the people in your network. That's where you want to spend your time. And AI and our platform and our system should do all the hard work for you. That lets you focus on what matters to you. And you then get the same benefit as the members. Because I can tell you that many of our hosts start to build their own relationships with the members in their community, and that becomes meaningful to them. It's both rewarding, it's meaningful, and it also is financially lucrative, because people who have relationships will churn less, they'll stay for longer, they might stay forever, and they'll pay you happily for the privilege to be there, because you've created the environment where they can thrive and do the thing that matters to them, to take the transition or to grow in the way they want to grow with the people around them. So that's what I wanted to present today. Hopefully that's useful. I'm happy to take some questions.
Yeah, we've got some awesome stuff. So, a couple of, I think, points of clarification that I would love to make. So number one, we are passionate believers that the only way we are going collectively to bring back deeper, richer, or I would say evolve and create more deeper, richer conversations, connections, relationships, and not just spark new relationships, but actually nurture them over time, is by taking the best of software, running it in the background, so that you as a host of a community or your members of communities are spending less and less time on logistics, reminders. Hey guys, what do you think about organizing a meetup? And then basically having everybody come at it from different angles. But instead, we can use software, or as I like to think about it, and I Tom and I talk about at length, the most innovative, forward-looking software is what is going to create the richest human connection. And I don't see a world where technology and software doesn't play a huge role in moving us from a lot of antisocial behavior to being able to meet and build relationships with people who are on the same path. And so what you just saw in terms of custom fields and automations, what is that for? It is designed to set something up so that it runs itself, so you can spend time with actual human beings. What is the point of gamification, or as I like to think about it, streaks and a recognition system? Well, so that members have a reason to reach out and make a connection with another member. And by the way, that you at the same time as the host of the community can reinforce the values of your community, your community culture, the culture of a challenge, or the culture of your course, or a culture of your workshop, your event, your membership. It's unlike anything else because we at Mighty Networks have one goal, which is to create people magic. And our belief is that you get 30 members in 30 days, so you have enough people to create that people magic. You use people magic to bring the right people together, like Tom's example of a group that can dynamically be created. Now imagine a meetup that can dynamically be created. Now imagine introductions that can be dynamically put out there. It's the natural evolution of custom fields and automations. What does that all lead to? It leads to quests, the ability for people to take advantage of identity, take advantage of relationships, not take advantage of people. In hindsight, I should not have used the term take advantage. To be able to celebrate and invest in how relationships are being built and created. And then finally, mighty funnels. We know that we're seeing it in the chat right now, how important it is for people to be able to get a taste of your membership before they join, or get a taste of your course before they sign up, or a taste of your certification program before they're like, yep, I'm in it. I'm ready to go. It's what we are doing here with this People Magic Summit. It's what we are doing with the 14-day challenge. I'll add one other thing that I think is super, super important. And Tom, it really reinforces what you shared, which is how many people are like, oh my gosh, what am I signing up for here? Am I going to have an annual membership? And then what if only 10 people join my annual membership? And now I'm kind of stuck with these 10 people and I don't really know the 10 people. The whole point of Mighty Funnels is to make it even easier than it is today when you buy the community plan, set up a challenge that has an end date before you invest in creating a longer membership. With Mighty Funnels, you're going to be able to use a simple space, a Mighty Funnel for that challenge, for that course, for that event. So it's not so far off in the future.
Thing. You could just use it for 2 weeks and then
exactly right.
Close it down.
That's exactly right. And if it doesn't work, here's the beautiful thing about a challenge like that. You learned. Just like we talked about with Jefferson, you learned and you can evolve. You have a new piece of information that you didn't have before. Yep. And so hopefully you are seeing in what Tom presented how each of these things build on each other to ladder up to the absolute easiest way to create something that needs to exist in the world. Introduce people to each other in the most valuable ways and go on quests together. Go on quests together. And so I think there have just been some fantastic questions in here. From where you're sitting, Tom, what are you looking at and thinking that you're the most excited about? I haven't asked you that question. I'm like asking you now. Like, as you're looking at this, what are the things that I know what my answer is, but how do you think about what you're
I'm excited about every single thing that I showed for different reasons. I will say all of those things are powerful. They're interesting. They're exciting for me. But what I'm really interested right now in is the fact that AI is still so new that we're just starting to get in our minds how powerful and useful it can be for doing what we just talked about, which is creating relationships. And I'm excited for like those unlocks, those times when you realize, wait, not only this, but let's take it all the way. What could we do? How could it even do more for us? And so I think we're just beginning down that journey. And that's exciting that this will change the way we interact on the network, right? Or on the web. This will just change fundamentally how you think about things. But I love to imagine that I show up, and maybe as a member, I would show up to a network, and you as hosts, you've created an AI that just helps me get oriented around in this place, right? So I join this group of people, and I don't know a lot of people, and it's like working on my behalf, and it's working on my behalf on your behalf as a host, right? It's helping me get oriented and shown where things are and what to do and what people usually post about or talk about here. And, shows me what things that I might be able to purchase or what things I might be able to use to make my quest or my journey better. Being able to unlock and let AI serve you as a host and serve your members to make them have a great and awesome experience. That's just exciting stuff. And I think there's just so much to do still.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
I'll tell you, I'll answer it as well, which is both, I would say, and you and I have had these conversations, both the thing I'm the most excited about, but also the more that I see and really play AI out, the more urgency I feel, and I think we as a team feel, to ensure that with custom fields and automations, every member can, as quickly as possible, see who is there and how amazing they are.
Yeah. Yes.
That with gamification and streaks and recognition, that it is another layer on top of custom fields and automations to show how amazing people are. And that even with Mighty Funnels, before you join, the thing we really are focused on is how to be able to get a taste of who else is there in the community so that you see who's amazing. Now, all of this is for a very specific reason, which is AI is going to do the best job it possibly can of being helpful, of being empathetic, of being nurturing, and really fun to be around. If we don't level up the software and use the latest tools and the latest techniques and the latest infrastructure to create ways for a normal human being to be able to understand and see how amazing other human beings are.
That's right.
We are going to find ourselves wanting to stay home with our AI friends more than going to that meetup to meet actual other human beings who are on the same path.
Yeah.
And that is a future that I'm not okay with.
Yeah.
And so that, I know many people have very specific questions about what is this plan and offer today. We're going to talk all about that. But I think this is actually a really important thing, which is number one, what you are buying today or the business that you are investing in today, it is our job at Mighty Networks to think 3, 6, 12 months ahead, 3 years ahead, and to be building a platform that ensures that it's not about the latest and greatest fads, but it is about fundamentally creating human connections to other people that are the most valuable with the fewest number of people, such that human relationships, connections, community get more and more valuable with every new person who joins. And the thing that Tom and I and the rest of the Mighty team take very, very seriously, very, very seriously, is ensuring that when you choose Mighty Networks, we are thinking about how you are creating the most sustainable, the most durable, and the most valuable business that you possibly can, because it is the most valuable community that you can possibly create. And I can say with great confidence, there's not a single other platform doing things similar to Mighty that has that same mission and that same long-term view.
Yeah. I think this is the important thing, is that I think you said it perfectly. It's not just right now. It's what in 3 years, in 5 years, where do you want to bet? Like, where do you want to build a business? And community is the answer to that. A community, you need it. Everyone wants to be part of it. It will matter just as much in the future as it does now. AI will play a part in helping facilitate and make that easy for you.
Mm-hmm.
But the business still, the people that are there, that's going to matter. And that's the future to bet on.
And we want to put our thumb on the scale of where things are going. For example, I think fake profiles, AI created profiles and fake humans is not okay.
No.
And we can create a co-host that is making connections, but real people are incredibly awesome. I was going to, by the way, Tom, earlier we learned that staying away from swear words increases our credibility. This is what Jefferson taught. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, yes, do not swear. I agree wholeheartedly. I will never do that. I have never, ever done that. So anyways, I've turned over a new leaf since the last session. And it is incredibly important that we take what is amazing about a human being, about a person that lives and exists in the world, and highlights all it's like, we think about it as like having somebody there to essentially introduce you to the community of other people for that particular goal, for that particular transition that you're going through.
That's right.
That is the amazing opportunity that we see. Gene, The Dangers of AI, people see the film Her.
That's right.
We're
basically in that time now.
Yeah, we literally are there. I remember watching it. Actually, I was at a Facebook executive's house watching that movie in 2013. And I remember thinking to myself, this is exactly how it's going to happen. And I think it was some of the earliest days of thinking about, okay, how are we going to use AI? How are we going to use software to showcase what is absolutely amazing about actual living, breathing human beings? And that is why we exist at Mighty Networks. So can you run your courses on Mighty Networks? Yes. Mm-hmm. Can you get feedback on your new book on Mighty Networks? Absolutely. Can you navigate thousands of comments or answers or things throughout your network? For sure. Yep. Can you even integrate an AI version of yourself from places like Delphi and others so that you have that ability to answer people's questions from your AI? Yes. Yep. Those all exist today, right now. But we look at those as almost early experiments with AI that is trying to basically just scale the status quo. Mm-hmm. And it's not about scaling the status quo. It is about creating new things that have gotten really, really hard, like being able to get a group of people to go to a movie or getting a group of people to go to dinner. Yep. This is what needs to evolve. And it's one of the things we hold sacred here at Mighty. And it's one of the reasons why we take our work so seriously, and also why we're such believers in creating people magic. Now, the end result is that the people who are embracing people magic today are also making more money. But did we start there? Is this a get-rich-quick scheme? No. This is about creating durable, sustainable communities where people are able to build real relationships with each other. Mm-hmm. Real relationships with each other. And that every single one of your members shows up, and by answering these custom questions, custom fields, the things that Tom showed you that really are about how do we surface those components at the right times in the right ways. We want your members to feel amazing, and to give you all the credit, all the credit for it.
And what you don't want is a member to have to show up and go searching through profiles, looking for people. They can learn about all the people there, but it takes them a lot of time. And then they feel, oh man, I have to get to know all these people. How am I going to, do you really expect them to go? read everyone's profile to find the 15 people that really are going to matter to them. Yeah, you could do that. That's like 1999 or maybe 2005. We're in a different world, and the world is just show me those 15 people, like, and the AI can do that for you. And you then, like, as a member, you just show up and like, oh, these are the people I've been looking for. Right. Then I can go deeper and learn more about them, but be awesome if I could just show up and it happens for me.
Yeah. Well, this has been incredible. Let me ask you one more question. And again, I'm asking, what I love about this is I'm asking you questions that I have actually never asked you before. What is the thing that has been the biggest surprise in building Mighty in, say, the last 6 months? Like, what surprised you?
What surprised me was how powerful automations really can be. How huge of an unlock. It didn't surprise. I mean, I knew that it would do a lot of powerful things and that it would unlock a lot, but I was surprised at the excitement that people had to finally, and frankly, our own excitement to finally let things be automated so you didn't have to do them anymore. So you didn't have to worry about them anymore. And people are very excited. And frankly, I think that I underestimated my own vision for how big and expansive automations could really be. Yeah. We're just getting started with things that are automated. And then when you layer on the automations, things that happen, but maybe you don't even have to create them. You just tell AI, hey, like, do these things for me when this stuff happens, and it can just set all the automation up and take care of it for you. That's just like just that unlock, mental unlock, even just to like see the vision of what that is. That's super exciting and really was a surprise, like that. Yeah. I didn't quite see it all the way. Yeah. But now we have, and I'm very excited to go all the way doing.
Let me ask. So now this is actually really fun. Okay. So then as you think about the automations and you think about the custom fields and automations and the intersection of them, what has been, we talk a lot about the future with AI and what all of this, yeah. But like, what's something somebody can do today that they can't do anywhere else besides, or anywhere else other than Mighty, just using what we have today?
I mean, I think that I don't know. I mean, I think that a lot of the way that the system, it's almost like the whole thing is set up in such a way that there is no other version of it anywhere. You being able to just have, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm at a loss because I think it's hard to pinpoint one thing you can't do. You can't experience anything like a Mighty network anywhere else. There is no other version of it. There's other products that are trying to do kind of maybe similar things, but there's nothing like a Mighty network with AI combined in the way we've done it. There's just no substitute. So
yeah. I was not trying to ask you a trick question. That was a good, that was a great answer. Here's how I would answer that question. Especially for folks, and I think there's a few of them, in the chat, like, well, tell me what's different about Mighty versus some of the other things that I've heard of. I'll give you 3 things, because I just gave this to somebody else. And so I thought I would offer it. And then, right. Tom, you've got some, follow-up thoughts. Number 1 is people magic. There is no other platform that is thinking about how do you take what makes somebody amazing and connect them as quickly as possible to the other most relevant and therefore most valuable people in a community. Hands down, nobody is doing this. So custom fields, automations, the people explorer that you saw, the way that we're looking at streaks and gamification, streaks and recognition. This does not exist anywhere else.
It doesn't exist.
Nope. The second thing By the way, I'm like, where am I going here? The other thing that I have to be very careful about with when I'm like using my hands to talk like a good Italian that I am is I regularly do this where I'm like, the really important thing. And I'm like, why am I doing like why am I doing three things? So number two is that a mighty network is the only platform that in a space offers you the ability to have more than
That's a great one.
one feature.
I
So
forget about all the things we do.
this is the thing. It's like we've been doing this, and it's well, and sometimes I have to sort of remember. Oh yeah, that is. And
We're the
for
only
some of the some of the things we've built, it's also like, shouldn't somebody have copied that by now? Like it's so valuable to us. Like, how is this not been copied? But it hasn't. So you would have in a space, you can have content like a web page. You could have courses like a course. You can have a community feed with polls and questions. You can have a chat.
Yep.
Chat just the way you love it. That does not exist anywhere else. And because of that, it means that every space can become something that is connecting your members and taking them on a quest, completing a course, learning a new skill, coming to a workshop. And finally, what is different about Mighty Networks is that we have some of the biggest creators and brands in the world on our platform. And as a result of that, we have had to scale notifications, being able to send out 250,000 notifications in a matter of minutes. We have had to
for
scale
one network, by the way, just
for
for
one
one
network.
network.
Yeah. And we have the ability to scale live streaming.
Yep.
We have the ability to essentially serve you when you're just starting to get your first 30 people, the point of our community plan, all the way up to having your own branded apps and delivering the highest volume community platform that is out there, even relative to Facebook groups. Why do we have this? Because we had to build it for the people who are on our platform, creating amazing communities and courses and challenges and memberships and events on our platform. So when you think about those three things, then there's these sub features like custom fields and automations, or the way that we're approaching streaks and recognition systems. The ability to do all of these in a highly customizable way just isn't possible anywhere else.
Not possible anywhere else. Yeah. And then you think about those features in a space, right? In a space, you can have multiple features turned on. You can have a chat. You can have then you think about that as a mighty funnel. You could have a chat, just one chat out for just a couple weeks to just gauge people's thoughts on a certain subject, or to have a 2-week challenge and there's a chat to check in on. Or you could have a course out there. You could use any of those features in a mighty funnel. That's really exciting stuff. So yes, and that's totally unique. No one's doing
it. And the question around, hey, how are you guys using AI to create these member-to-member relationships? That's people magic. It's all the stuff. So in the replays, you'll be able to see it. It is awesome. And then the last question that I'll use here is, are we able to do something similar to what you're doing right now regarding presenting this branded presentation and webinar feature? And the answer is yes, when we get to Mighty Funnels. It is there is a method to our modeling of how to do it today and how you will be able to do it 6 months from now, 12 months from now, 2 years from now. So imagine all of these things in one place. When you are buying the community plan today, and by the way, you can buy other plans too. We've got anything and everything that you would want on various plans. But the community plan, when you invest in it today, especially if you are starting out, you're going to get access to all of these things in the most trivial way. When you're ready, you just click a button and all of this appears.
And that's very important. It is so easy to upgrade. All of the things stay, the way you want them. You just get access to new features.
Yeah, absolutely. So Tom, thank you so much. Hopefully, and I'm just looking in the chat, and we'll make sure you can see it because you had to do all the hard work of presenting. People have been stoked. Thanks everybody. We are going to be back in 15 minutes with Jane Stetsick for another workshop. And why don't we just all give like Tom an emoji, like an emoji clap? Like he and his team and our engineering team have just been doing an absolutely fantastic job. And I am incredibly grateful for them. With that, thank you so much.
Thank you all.
We'll see you in a few.